lost my train of thought. I'll edit this out later. Welcome back to the BuZZ. Okay. Welcome back to the BuZZ. We have a new game for you today called Guess What's in the Cup. I'm gonna be blindfolded again. My lovely wife has once again come up with an assortment of things that she will put in a cup. I'm gonna have to figure out what it is without looking. After the game of smells, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but here we go.
Here you go.
Oh. Well, it's... Was it syrup?
Yes.
That's a waste of syrup.
Here's the next one.
Oh! Gross. That's honey.
No.
Barbecue sauce?
No. I hope that's not barbecue sauce.
Oh, what do I get? 3 guesses and I have to give up?
Sure.
Gosh. I don't know.
It's hair gel.
Yeah, okay. Ready? Okay,
We're
sorry,
ready.
I was still doing my hair. Oh. And it's kind of a little bit chunky, but really slimy. Oh, hold on. It's chunky, but it dissolves right away. It's, is it applesauce?
It is.
Yes!
Here you go.
It's gritty and dry. Oh, you know what? Every year when I go to the beach, I bring some sand home. Is this sand?
It's not sand.
Is it baby powder?
Close.
I don't know. It's another. Is it flour?
No, it's baking soda.
Baking soda.
Here you go.
That's Play-Doh.
Yep.
Woo! Nailed it.
Here you go.
Oh, that is gross. That is gross. It's some type of sauce, but it's too thick to be sauce. It's smooth and creamy. Is this barbecue sauce?
No.
Oh, that's mayonnaise.
Yep. Here you go.
Cool Whip.
Close.
Ready Whip.
No.
Oh, shaving cream.
Yes.
Yeah. This has been What's in the Cup. I scored 4 out of 6.
Something like that.
I forgot to keep score because the points don't matter. I win. If you have an idea for a bit or a game or something you want to see, put it in an email and let me know.
No, if you do that, I'm gonna do that. If you do that, if you do this, I'm gonna do
Well, what if I just did it?
You don't want to do that.
Welcome back to the Buzz. My guest today is none other than Mrs. Rochte. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Great. I'm great. I'm on the Buzz. How could I not be great?
Right? Yeah.
So, what's new?
Well, not a whole lot. Just, staying at home and trying to work and take care of my boys and hang out with my dog. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mentioned in my episode with somebody. I've forgotten already. My dog doesn't want anything to do with me right now.
Yeah.
He's like, "Why are you here?" Go away.
Right. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rude.
No, my dog's loving it. Like, he's following me everywhere. Every time I turn around, I'm stepping on him. I'm like, dude, like, give me some space. I love you, but, you have to back off a little bit.
I wish.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I like to ask all of my guests is if they've started any new hobbies. Have you gotten into anything that maybe you felt like you didn't have time to do before, but now you do?
Not any new hobbies, but I just am able to pursue the hobbies that I liked to do, and I didn't have any time to before.
Okay.
So,
Such as?
crocheting, knitting,
Ah,
and crocheting. So, Mrs. Harbaugh and
mhm.
I are friends, and she helps me run Tattered Pages. Oh, can I do a shout out for my
Yeah,
Tattered Pages kiddos? Like, woo,
absolutely.
love you guys, totally miss you. But anyway, so I found this pattern for right before Christmas, and I said, okay, Mrs. Harbaugh, I kind of sort of got you a present. And she was like, oh, and I said, well, and I showed her the pattern for a baby Yoda because I know she's a big Star Wars fan. And so, yes. And so I have been able to start the baby Yoda. There he is. How cool is he, right? Like,
Really cool.
Even has a little butt. That's like part of it. So yeah. And I'm done with one arm, and I need a second arm before I put it on, and I did to do the ears. So, and it's gone really fast, but I've not had time to sit down and do that. So that was one of the things that I was able to do.
That's
So
cool.
yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, Mrs. Rochte also heads up our Knit and Crochet Club at MVMS. What got you interested in knitting and crocheting? Was it just something that looked cool? Maybe a family member did it?
I started when I was like 7 or 8, because my Nina, my godmother, she knit, or sorry, she crocheted, and she was my favorite aunt ever. She was like my second mom. And I was like, Nina, can you teach me how to, crochet? She's like, sure. And she showed me. And so I've been crocheting for forever. And I just recently started knitting after I graduated college because recently, it's been like a while now, but because I just thought it was cool. And you can do different things with knitting than you can with crocheting.
Okay. I back in October I was sick for a couple of days, and my wife had gotten some crochet needles for Christmas
Mm-hmm.
the year before, and I got super bored, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. I
Yeah.
was not good at it.
Well, it at first it is difficult because you have to, you're thinking in a 3D manner. Like when I try, like my dad is very good with woodworking, so he can think like that. But when I try to explain to him how I'm making a toy or whatever, he's like, I don't get that. And I'm like, Dad, how can you not get it? Because you build stuff. And he's like, yeah. So when I show him, he was like, oh, that's really neat. Like, I don't think I could do that. So it just takes time. It just takes time.
Yeah, I had a line,
Hmm.
and then I was like, that part was easy. So then I did a little bit more, and then it was like, and I gave up.
Yeah, no, that's part of it. Like the first time you finish anything, like usually when you start, you do like just a chain. Like I chained forever until my aunt showed me like the next step. But then like the first time you finish a piece, whether it be just a square or whatever, it looks wonky, and you're like, what's up with that? Like that's not even what I was trying to do. But it has to deal with tension on and being consistent, and once your muscle memory, then
Okay.
you got it.
Kind of like
So
playing an instrument,
yeah, kind of like playing an instrument.
which you also do.
Yes, I do. I was, before I was a librarian, I was a music teacher. So I taught 7th grade general music in Toledo for 3 years before I decided to become a librarian. So my main instrument is clarinet, and I actually still play. There's a community band in New Albany, and so I've been playing with them since I've started here at Mount Vernon, so for a while now.
Cool. That is very cool. I ask everybody also if they're reading any books. That might
Yes.
be a big question for you.
It is. I have my to be read pile is ginormous, but what I'm currently reading, I brought the book, so it's called A Darker Shade of Magic,
Oh,
and it's really cool. It's about this guy who can go between worlds, and London is kind of where the worlds kind of connect, and there's a gray London, which is our kind of universe, and then a red London where he's from, a white London, and a black London. And Black London has been closed down because magic has gone kind of wonky there, and it started like consuming everything.
Hmm.
And there's no magic in our gray London. And then so there's magic in the other two, and he's able to go through the worlds, and he's the two other people are, he and one other person are able to do that. So as he's going through the world, you're not supposed to bring something from another world to to each of them, but he
right.
does, and he gets
Because magic has laws.
exactly. And so the what he brings from over is stolen by this girl, and so he has to steal it back, and then she goes back. So it's interesting. It's taken a while for it to kind of warm up, but I think I like it. So that's what I'm reading right now. And then I have tons and tons of other stuff to read too. So
Yeah. And I think we just inadvertently did first chapter Friday.
yes, also shout out to Mrs. Sivright's classes, Mr. Kane's classes, and Mr. Lewis classes, because I used to do first chapter Friday with them, and I definitely miss them. It was really fun doing that. I've actually started doing my own first chapter Friday on my library Google Classroom. I sent everybody in the school the code to join the library Google Classroom if you want. And so every Friday I'm going to read the first chapter because I really missed doing that. So
Yeah. I'd like to tell you that I did it on purpose, that your Friday morning's episode and we just did first chapter Friday, but it was a total accident, and I'm really excited about it now.
yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I miss first chapter Friday too. My next question is, what's something good that's happened for you? Big or little, anything at all, something good that's happened.
I bought new pots and pans. I've had pots and pans that have like the non-stick coating, and it started coming off, and we've had it since we were married. So I was like, I'm gonna buy new pots and pans. And so when it came in this huge box, and so we took it out, and it was like woohoo, like Christmas. The boys were playing in the boxes. It was awesome. It was a good time. It was funny. It's like, it's only pots and pans, but it was super exciting.
Listen, I know the students aren't going to understand that because they would think that's stupid. Sorry, guys. I know you think that's stupid. But yeah, new pots and pans is a big
Right?
deal. You're like, oh, goodness. Oh, I kind of already asked you that one. Well, never mind. I'll move on to a different question then.
Okay.
So all of my guests leave a question for the next guest. And as luck would have it, Mrs. Gottke said that if she weren't a teacher, she would own and run a bookstore. So her question was, if you could be any character from a book, who would it be and why?
Well, as pretty much everybody knows, I am a huge Harry Potter fan, and I would probably be not Hermione, because even though she's totally awesome, but I think I would be Luna Lovegood because she's kind of like a character that's there on the side, and she's kind of weird, but like super nice, and she really is there for Harry, like in his time of need.
Yeah.
And so I think I would be Luna Lovegood.
And it plays a big part in everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much. Although if you
Right.
haven't read it by now,
Right.
what are you waiting for?
Yes. Yeah.
I gave that question a lot of thought and I'm stuck.
Really?
I'm stuck. I can't think of any one that I'd be like, this person, that person, this book, that book. And I like to read and I'm stuck. So I'm going to have to come back to it.
Yeah, there's so many books and things that you love and you geek out about. It's just hard to pick one. I know. Yeah. That took me a while too, because I really love the series, The Girl of Fire and Thorns. And I love that book. And anytime I give that book to like any of my students, I always tell them, like, if you don't like this book, I don't think we can be friends. Like, that's how much I really love this book. And some of them were like, oh, I don't know if I want to read it now. And I'm like, I'm just kidding. But I could be in that world too, like, because I really love that world. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to choose.
Right? Oh, Percy Jackson.
Oh,
Because I love the ocean.
Oh, you would be specifically Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not because he's the title character, and I love the ocean. If he had any siblings, I might want to be one of them, but
right, yeah, he doesn't.
Not allowed to read the book.
Yeah.
Would you like to leave a question for my next guest for Monday?
Yes. So I have been watching a lot of TV.
Okay.
And and I just want to know what everybody else is kind of binge watching.
All right.
So, me personally, I've been watching The Office because when we had a Zoom meeting a couple weeks ago, they were saying, oh yeah, you have to watch The Office. When you get to like season 4 or 5, it's like really funny, blah, blah, blah. And I had never watched it before. I don't know. It was just one of those things I just hadn't. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll check it out. And now, like, I'm really obsessed. Jim Halpert is like my TV boyfriend. He's really funny. I think I would die if Michael were my boss. Like, thank goodness Mr. Prince, Mrs. Grandstaff, and Mr. Gross are like completely normal, rational people. Because like, there's no way I could work in that environment,
Could you imagine?
Oh God, like some things that are happening, and I'm just like, oh no, what is going on?
What season are you on?
3. So yeah, it's just pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, buckle up.
Yes, I know. I can only imagine that it gets crazier.
Well,
so.
you will not regret it. That is for sure.
Oh, I'm not. It's been really funny, especially because I definitely need to laugh right now, because you just need to laugh. And so this is like, sometimes I'm watching it and I have to make sure I'm not laughing too loud, because then my boys will wake up and they'll come down like, Mommy, what you're watching? And I'm like frantically, no, because you can't watch that for the little kids, So I was like, nothing, go back to bed. Why are you doing up?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, well, you'll love it. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for being on the Buzz today. It's been great getting to catch up and chat, and I hope you're doing well. And yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. Bye. Miss you guys.
Here are today's shout-outs. Alanis wanted to give a shout-out to all the teams for the hard work that they're doing, and she wanted to remind the whole school that we're all in this together. Cora wanted to give a shout-out to Mr. Prince for being such a good principal. Can't wait to see you in the fall. And Alexis wanted to give a shout-out to Mrs. Gotke for always being there for her and helping her. She said she's such an awesome teacher.
Just a shout out from Mrs. Rochte to the 6th grade lunch guys, because I miss you guys, even though it's always crazy during lunch, but I always enjoyed walking around and talking to you guys. So hopefully I'll get to see you soon.
That's all for today's episode of The Buzz. I will have a new challenge for you next week. Make sure you tune in Monday to see People's House of Cards challenge. And you are not going to want to miss Monday's episode. Mr. Boone will be on with me, and it's May 4th. So, it's going to be great.